welcome back to my channel, Off the Record Fashions. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and press that red button and subscribe to our channel. I post once a week. I post about fashion and lifestyle, family, all kinds of things. So we're kind of your one-stop shop. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like the video. And yeah, so let's get started. Today's blog is called Confessions of a Nursing Mom, and it's really personal for me. It was a hard process, and I thought that it was really important to share it with you guys and give a little insight to those people who are looking for it. I remember just being pregnant and being like so clueless and like doing a lot of Google searches, and I read what to expect when expecting, and I think like some of my coworkers bought me books, and then there's apps and all these things, but there's nothing like talking to someone, and there's nothing like being able to relate one-on-one. It's not comfortable for me to talk about like feelings and emotions, but I do think people can benefit from it, so I guess here we go. My experience with breastfeeding was not fun. So Jackson was born at exactly 37 weeks due to other complications. So when he was born, he was only 5 pounds. He didn't fully know how to suck properly. So it was hard for him to latch. You're gonna breastfeed if you're gonna nurse. You don't feed your baby until they figure out how to latch. However, Jackson was 5 pounds, and they won't let you leave the hospital if your baby's under 5 pounds. So, and he was jaundiced, which means that he needed to grow to kind of get that out of his system. So I couldn't wait. We couldn't afford to wait for him to latch. And then my milk hadn't come in. Note to self, your milk could start before you have your baby, or it could start after, like days after your baby's born. Like, I didn't know. I just assumed when you push the baby out, there's something that starts and a chemical reaction that kicks in, and boom, there's milk. That's not true. Anyways, he needed to eat. So while he was in the hospital, he had to start on a bottle. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry because it makes me sad, because I really did want to breastfeed. It was just something that I wanted to do as a mother and as his mom, and yeah. So we had to start him on the bottle, and we did that for the 3 days we were in the hospital. And I started pumping while I was in the hospital to kind of help my milk production. And then we had a hard time latching because he'd already started learning how to drink out the bottle. Latching on your boob is a whole different thing. So we practiced latching. We were having a hard time, so I went to see the lactation specialist through my hospital. The lactation specialist was pretty helpful. There's these things called nipple guards. So we started using those, and those were helpful. However, he realized that it was faster for the milk to come out of the bottle than it was faster and easier to get milk from the bottle than it was to get it from mommy. For 6.5 weeks, he would just scream. For a long time, like a really long time. He wasn't a crybaby, so that in itself is like just frustrating when you're used to having like a quiet, calm baby, and then he's just screaming and he's hungry, so you feel guilty because, well, I don't know, you feel guilty. I felt guilty because I'm just like, he's hungry. I don't know exactly how much he's supposed to eat. When is it okay for him to like not go an hour, or like I don't know. This is my first kid and I'm figuring it out. He'd scream for about 20 minutes. Like he's like on, like I'm like, his head's here and I'm like holding myself up and like propping him, and he wouldn't even close his mouth. So I'm like this and this and like, come on. He's just like for like 20 minutes. And then after 20 minutes, like I just can't. Like, it was hard enough listening to him scream for 20 minutes, but I'm trying to, like, come on, just close your mouth, just give it a try. Like, it's okay. Like, it's food. I promise you'll be okay. And he's still just like, ah. And I'm just like, on the inside, I'm like melting. Like, it's just like, what's wrong with me? Like, it almost felt a little broken. Like I can't feed my own baby. Like, what? Ah! Stop looking at me. Okay. But yeah, so that, and I'm just like, okay, I can't just mentally, emotionally, I can't just sit here and listen to my child scream like that for 20 minutes, and he's hungry. So I'm battling all of these things where I feel terrible, and then I just give him a bottle. As he got older, it got longer spans of just screaming. So then we tried with the lactation specialist, we tried giving him the bottle for like 1 minute so he could get a little like taste, and then latching him. It was helpful to get him on a routine so that he could learn that, okay, this is the process, this is how we do it. So maybe instead of screaming for 20 minutes straight, it was like 10 minutes straight. But then also, I wasn't sleeping. You don't get a lot of sleep. I mean, honestly, there's no other way to say it. The first 6 weeks, they say, is the hardest, and it's true. Jackson was eating every 2 hours, so I'd breastfeed for about an hour, and mind you, my son was born at 5 pounds. By the time we went back to the doctor for his 2-week doctor's appointment, he was 12 pounds. So he gained 7 pounds in 2 weeks, which is like insane. So he was eating like a lot. He was always hungry. So I'd nurse for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then I would wash all the stuff out, which took like 20 minutes. Then bottle feeding for another 15 minutes. So now we're at close to an hour 20, hour 30 minutes. There's about 30-40 minutes left, and I don't get to try to fall back to sleep. I actually need to pump. But I was having a hard time like getting my milk to produce more. Like, it was coming out slow. It wasn't a whole bunch of milk. So then the lactation specialist recommends that you pump also to kind of get it flowing. So after this, it's about 40 minutes left, and I need to pump for at least 20 minutes to just kind of make sure that my body's getting all the right signals. Like, every time you deplete the milk that's in your boobs, you're telling your body that you need more. I had to make sure that they were empty at all times so that I could start making more. So I do that for about 20 minutes. Then I have to try to fall asleep, and it's about 20 minutes left before Jackson's next feeding. So takes about 10 minutes to fall asleep. I sleep for about 10 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes. I try to push it, and then he was up again, ready to eat. And then the whole process starts all over again. And this is every day. There's no break, and you're just like this for months, until like, obviously eventually like he grows and he starts sleeping more, and then his feedings get spread out. So there is hope at the end of the tunnel. But for me, after 6.5 weeks, I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. You're gonna go crazy. I felt crazy. I felt like I was going crazy. So I decided to stop. I talked to my husband about it, and he's kind of like, whatever you decide. But I still found a way to be like upset with him about it. But I wasn't really upset with him. Like, I was upset with myself because I felt like a failure. Because I don't know, you just think that I can do this for my kid. Like, I can do that. And it was hard. So I started to stop breastfeeding at 6.5 weeks, but I think I got to like 7.5 before I fully stopped because I'd feel guilty and I would just like breastfeed him once or twice throughout the day. And we, mind you, at 7 weeks, we're still going through the same process. He's still screaming for 20-30 minutes, like, and he's still like, at some point he just be like just push me away. Like, I don't want that. I want a bottle. I don't know. I guess it was embarrassing. And like only in my own head, like in my own mind, it was just like, what's wrong with you? What's going on? Like, what's your problem? And one of my friends, one of my good friends has a special needs son who is about 6 months older than my son. And I talked to her and she was really helpful. She shared her struggles with it because her son literally physically can't breastfeed. He's on a special diet and he has dietary restrictions, and I think his body literally couldn't process her milk. She literally cried. I cried, but I wasn't gonna tell you that part. But then I can't tell you that she cried and not tell you that I cried. But clearly I'm tearing up doing this, so you probably assume that I cried. But she literally cried and pumped, even though she knew he couldn't drink it because she couldn't get herself to not do it. And she said fed is best. And that's kind of the mantra that I kept in my head, where I'm just like, he's healthy and he was meeting all his milestones and he was growing and developing perfectly fine. And that was what was important though. Like he was doing okay. Once I stopped breastfeeding, I got flack from people in public. They ask you, oh, are you breastfeeding? Oh, are you nursing? Oh, are you doing, oh no, you know, I'm not doing that. And you'd always get the, oh, really? Oh, but it's so good for them. Oh, it's the best. It's so good for them. It's so good for their development and their this and their that and blah blah blah. Don't do that. Don't do that, because for me personally, it took everything in me not to cry every time someone asked me, was I breastfeeding? And then for you to, on top of that, give me judgment, that's shitty, because you don't know what my struggle was to get to that point. You have no idea what that felt like to not be able to feed your own child, to do something that the world tells you you're supposed to be able to do. As a woman, it's almost like your job is to have children. I'm not saying that is your job. I'm just saying that's the perception, is that you're supposed to have children and then you're supposed to take care of them. And I couldn't. And that hurts in itself. And then somebody else comes and give you judgment for it. I wanted to do that video, like I said, because there was some pushback and some judgment, some little sly comments, and some not so sly comments, some very in your face, overt comments. And I just kind of wanted to shed some light on that, because I don't think that it's done on purpose. I think that people really do think that they're trying to help, but I just thought that maybe this video would help you to be more conscious of that, of the fact that you don't know everyone's story, and you're like adding fuel to the fire. So I wanted to kind of, I guess, encourage people to be a little bit more compassionate around those subjects. And then also for moms who are in the thick of it right now, who's going through it, who's breastfeeding or nursing, and you're having a hard time, I would say do all the research you can. Try all the tricks that you can. Talk to a lactation specialist if you can. and it gets better. And if you decide it's not working, it's okay to stop. It's okay. You're not a bad mom. You're not a bad person. What's important is that your baby is fed and healthy. And I really hope this was helpful for someone. So just bringing light back into the situation and try not to leave on like a sour mood. If you can relate, if you have questions or answers or advice or whatever, go ahead and leave some comments in the comment section. I really love it when you guys do that. Don't forget before you leave to subscribe, and also give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Share us on your social medias, Facebook, Instagram. Follow us on Instagram at offtherecord.fa. F is in fashion, A is in awesome, because you're awesome and we always have an awesome time here together. Also, I have some mommy and me videos with me and Jackson. He's not in this video because he's napping, but we have some mommy and me read along videos and mommy and me dance party. We have a little fun, so you guys can check those out. I'll put the link in the description below. You can also check out some of my fashion shopping review videos. Thank you so much. See you again soon.
With a body like that, shawty, you should be famous.